Iva Prine opened the small locked drawer of her late husband Perry's desk at 10 in the morning on a Tuesday in June, and found a folded creamy letter dated the 12th of August, 1856, still sealed, addressed to Miss Iva Cross of Cedar Falls, Iowa, in a plain, honest, small young hand she had not seen in 30 years. She sat down slowly in Perry's leather chair. She was 50. She had been widowed of Perry Prine, plain, honest, small country attorney of Grand Fork, Colorado, for 11 months. She had been sorting his study, at last, because at 11 months, a plain, honest widow could sort a study without weeping every hour. And she had come to the small locked drawer at the bottom of his desk, and had found a plain, honest, small brass key taped to the underside of the top drawer, with a plain, honest note in Perry's own honest hand that said only, "Eva, open when I am gone. P." She had opened. The letter inside was, plainly, in the plain, honest, small hand of Ash Whitaker of Cedar Falls, Iowa, age 20 in 1856. The plain, honest, small boy she had loved at 18 and had, plainly, believed had stopped writing to her in the fall of that year because he had, in her hearing at the Cedar Falls churchyard, said plainly that he was going west to the mines and would write from Denver. The letter had never reached her. She had married Perry Prine in 1859. 3 years after the plain, honest, small silence she had accepted as Ash Whitaker's plain, honest, small decision. She broke the plain, honest, small wax. The letter said, in Ash Whitaker's plain, honest, small young hand, "Iva, I have reached Denver. I have a small, honest position with a plain, honest, small freighting company. I am to be paid $2 a day. I am, at 20, saving for a plain, honest, small cottage of my own that I intend to send for you when I have it. I am asking now, plainly, whether you will consider marrying me in the spring of 1858 when I have saved enough. I love you as plainly as I have known how to say it. Please write me at the plain, honest, small post office at Denver. Ash." Iva Prine set the plain, honest, small letter down on Perry Prine's plank writing desk. She said, aloud, to Perry Prine's plain, honest ghost, "Perry Prine, you have been dishonest to me for 30 years." Beneath the plain, honest, small letter in the drawer was a plain, honest, small folded paragraph, in Perry's own honest hand, dated the 10th of April, 1885, 3 months before his death. "Iva, I intercepted this letter at the Cedar Falls post office in September of 1856. I was 17. I was in love with you. I paid the postmaster $2 to hand me your incoming Denver mail for a fortnight. I received 2 letters from Ash. I kept both. I have burned the second in 1863. This one I could not bring myself to burn because it was the plain, honest, small proposal itself. I have kept it in this drawer 30 years. I have loved you plainly all 30. I am dying, and I owe you the plain, honest truth. Please write to Ash Whitaker, at the plain, honest, small ranch of Whitaker, at Rimrock, Colorado, which I have known his address for 8 years, because I read the plain, honest county paper. I am ashamed. I am asking, from the plain, honest, small other side, that you forgive me. P." Iva Prine sat in Perry's leather chair for a full hour. She then rose. She went to the kitchen. She fetched her plain, honest, small pen and her plain, honest, small piece of writing paper. She sat at the plank kitchen table. She wrote a plain, honest, small letter of 1 page. The letter said, in Iva Prine's plain, honest, small hand, at 50, "Ash Whitaker, my husband Perry Prine died on the 14th of July of last year. I have been sorting his study today. I have found in a small locked drawer of his writing desk a plain, honest, small letter you sent me from Denver on the 12th of August of 1856, unopened until this Tuesday morning. I have also found Perry's plain, honest, small paragraph of confession, dated 3 months before his death. I have read both. I am writing to inform you that your plain, honest, small letter from Denver of 1856 did not reach me. I have thought of you every year of 30. I would not press on a plain, honest, small man of 50 at Rimrock, who has, in that 30, made his own plain, honest, small life. I am writing only because you deserve to know the plain, honest, small letter was written and answered, belatedly. If you would like to write me a plain, honest, small paragraph in reply, I will receive it. If you would rather not, I will understand plainly. Eva Cross Prine, Grand Fork. She sent the letter on the 4 o'clock stage. Ash Whitaker's reply arrived on the 16th of July. His letter was 3 pages. His plain, honest, small hand at 50 was steadier than his plain, honest, small hand at 20 had been. He wrote, Iva, your letter reached me on the 10th. I have been at the plank table since. I have read it 7 times. I did not know Perry Prine of Cedar Falls had intercepted the letter. I had assumed you had received it and had answered no. I did not. In my plain, honest, small pride at 20, write again. I regret it plainly now. He wrote plainly about the 30 years, about Denver in 57, about Colorado in 60, about the plain, honest, small ranch he had bought at Rimrock in 68, about his plain, honest, small marriage in 72, to a plain, honest, small woman named June Whitcomb, who had died in 80, of a plain, honest, small stroke without children, about the 6 years alone. He wrote, plainly, that he had loved Iva Cross at 20, and had not, in the plain, honest, small 30 years, ever quite stopped, and that he did not know how to write that at 50, in a way that would not sound plainly presumptuous, but he was writing it anyway, because the plain, honest, small alternative was to not write it, and to wait for a second letter from her to be lost 30 years. He signed his name plainly, Ash Whitaker, Whitaker Ranch, Rimrock, Colorado. They corresponded through the summer and the fall and the winter. His letters came every other Wednesday. Hers went back every other Sunday. They spoke of Cedar Falls, plainly, of Perry, plainly, of June, plainly, of the plain, honest, small 30 years that had gone between the two of them, of the small, honest little regrets each of them had, at 50, come to at last. He rode to Grand Fork in April on his own plain, honest, small chestnut mare. He tied at the small, honest boarding hotel across the square from Iva's cottage. He walked to Iva's porch step at 4 in the afternoon. She opened the door. He tipped his hat. She said, in a voice that surprised her by being steady, Ash Whitaker. He said, in a voice that surprised him by being steady, Iva Cross Prine. She said, please come in, there is coffee. He came in, there was coffee. He stayed a fortnight at the boarding hotel. He came out to her porch step at 4 each afternoon and drank her coffee. He and Iva walked plainly through the plain, honest, small Grand Fork Park, and along the plain, honest, small Grand Fork Creek, and beside the plain, honest, small county cemetery where Perry Prine was buried. Iva stopped, plainly, at Perry's plain, honest, small grave, and set down a plain, honest, small handful of prairie yarrow. She said, quietly, Perry, I have brought Ash. Ash sends his regards. I do not know why I am telling you plainly. I am telling you plainly anyway. Ash Whitaker set down his own plain, honest, small handful of prairie yarrow beside hers. He said quietly, Perry Prine, rest well. At the end of the fortnight, on the last Sunday of April, at Iva's plank table over supper, Ash Whitaker said, Iva. Eva said, Ash. He said, I would like to ask you plainly whether you would consider marrying me at 50 and moving to Rimrock, or moving with me here to Grand Fork, or dividing the year between the 2 properties. I do not press. I am asking. Eva Cross Prine said, Ash Whitaker. Ash said yes. She said, I would like to divide the year between the 2 properties. I would like to be at Grand Fork in the summers, because my sister Nan is at Grand Fork, and my plain, honest, small pension is at the Grand Fork Bank. I would like to be at Rimrock in the winters, because Rimrock is warmer than Grand Fork, and your ranch is where you have been at home 30 years. I would like to marry you at Judge Callis's plain, honest, small Presbyterian church in June. That is my plain, honest, small answer. Ash Whitaker said, Iva. Eva said yes. He said yes. The circuit preacher married Ash Whitaker and Iva Cross Prine at Judge Callis's plain, honest, small Presbyterian church on the last Sunday of June. Iva's sister Nan gave her away. Old Sylvan, Ash's foreman at Rimrock, stood witness for Ash. Doc Farrow of Grand Fork stood witness for Iva. Iva burned the plain, honest, small, unopened letter of August 1856 in the plain, honest, small vestry stove after the ceremony, in the plain, honest, small private presence of Ash, and said, aloud, at the stove, Perry Prine, I forgive you plainly. The letter is done. Please rest. Ash Whitaker said, Perry Prine, I forgive you plainly also. 3 years on a warm September evening at the Whitaker Ranch, Iva Whitaker sat on the porch step with Ash beside her. They were 53 and 53. Iva's plain, honest, small pension continued to arrive at the Grand Fork Bank every quarter. Iva's sister Nan, at Grand Fork, was well. Ash's plain, honest, small ranch at Rimrock was well. Old Sylvan, 78 now, was still foreman. Ash said, Iva. Iva said, Ash. He said the plain, honest, small letter of 1856. Eva said yes. He said, it reached us at last. Eva said, it did. He kissed her temple. The pasture went to gold. Nan the mare, named for Iva's sister at Iva's private request, grazed at 50 yards. And Iva Cross Prine Whitaker, who had opened a plain, honest, small locked drawer of her late husband Perry Prine's writing desk at 10 in the morning on a Tuesday in June, and had found a plain, honest, small, unopened letter, dated the 12th of August, 1856, put her cheek against her husband's shoulder, and understood that the good, slow country had, in its good, slow way, given her back the boy she had loved at 18, belatedly, plainly, and at 53, and that the plain, honest, small 30 years between the two dates had not been, in the end, the plain, honest, small punishment Perry Prine had feared in his own plainer, honest deathbed, but the plain, honest, small preparation for a plainer, better household at Rimrock and Grand Fork, that neither of them, at 20 and 18, could have plainly, honestly, or at all imagined. And so it had.